All right, welcome everybody. We're live right now at YouTube, WRBL News 3, and on Facebook Live too at the same time, so we can guys give you an update here as we roll you right into our live broadcast, 11:10 Central on News 3. Welcome. This winter storm 2025. 17 of 2018 was the last time we had this. That would be January 17. But today, a little bit different. We're looking at, of course, the snow falling here on the 21st day of January of 2025. And the winter storm warnings are starting to let up here across East Alabama. That's some good news, but a part of west central Georgia, we still have snow coming on down and still accumulating, so therefore those winter storm warnings continue in this area. The white is all snow, and the dense snowpack is moving south and east of Columbus. You can see it across Sumter County in Georgia and just portions of Randolph and a little bit of Sly County. Still seeing some snow that's wrapping up across parts of Chattahoochee County and parts of Webster County. We're still seeing some snow. No travel at all, not advised for anybody. As this next Arctic front comes through, there's still clouds on the backside, and that moisture is finally being pushed out a little bit as our storm is starting to move eastward. It's getting deeper in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's a live look at this hour, 10:19 Eastern Time, and this would be around 9:10 Central Time. The snow depicted in blue, the more moderate levels of snow continues to move just to the east right now of Americus, Georgia, Shellman, Georgia, and just leaving areas around Fort Gaines. But once you get in areas around Blakely, you can still see some snows hanging on, snow flurries, that is. So farther south we go, East Alabama, you're clear from snow, but conditions are hazardous on the roads. So as we continue to see this, of course, all this cold air start to really penetrate, all the snow we received up to an inch across Interstate 85, including LaGrange Valley, Lynette, and all the way back up into portions of Meriwether County, including Greenville. But when you get around Auburn, when you get around areas around Tuskegee, back around Ladonia, Columbus, Smith Station, back in parts of areas around Chattahoochee County, talking about Catala into Harris County, and all the way into Talbot County, Talbotton, into Mock, Georgia, and parts of Taylor County. We're seeing 1 to 3 inches of snow that is going to freeze across these areas. 4 inches have fallen, and a few embedded areas more than 4 when you get into Stewart County, Barber counties. It's been quite heavy down there today. So the southern winter storm, snow showers are already tapering off. That's some good news across east central Alabama. The winter storm warnings have expired. I'll show you in just a moment. Wind chills, single-digit wind chill values. This is cold. That just makes it even more problematic for the surface to even warm up. Even if we get slightly above freezing, the air is going to remain cold around these areas that are protected. Avoid traveling completely. Every first responder, and even our Webster County fire chief said, I'm a fire chief by day, and at night I got to do some other first responder issues in the sheriff's department. And if anybody's out there, you're really overtasking these rural areas and all our first responders. Best way is to literally, to serve them, is to stay off the roads, unless you really have to if it's an emergency. So we look at this hour, 10 o'clock, 9 Central. Look at this, Tuskegee, 27 degrees, Auburn, 26, 15 wind chill values. We dip it down even more. I'm going to drop down into the early morning hours around 11, 10 Central tomorrow. We're seeing those temperatures still sub-freezing, still dealing with upper teens to 20s out there for wind chill values. So it is still going to be another full day for a lot of us, just barely getting over freezing. Some of us may not even get above freezing, like Cuthbert, maybe some areas around Lee County, even around Opelika, even around Pine Mountain, Georgia. So imagine none of these areas are going to ever be able to defrost completely, so roads are still treacherous. So you wonder how much of this will linger into Thursday morning, too, for travel. So keep that in mind if you're looking ahead. So notice any of the thoroughfares we're looking at, temperature still in the upper 20s, mid-20s here, and those winds becoming easterly, so that wind will make it feel much colder. As we get into Thursday morning, the same scenario, still sub-freezing. You're talking about, some cases, 2 days, solid 2 days of 48 hours of actually, you ready for this? No temperature above freezing. So that's significant. So we continue to see this trend continue, and the forecast wind chills obviously tell the story as we get into the single digits for a short time coming up Wednesday right after sunrise. So bundle up, layer up. If you have to be out there and you want to play in the snow a little bit, you didn't get much of it, of course, on your Tuesday, well, the best thing is to make sure that every part of your exposed skin is covered. You can get frostbite very quickly. So a recap, winter storm warnings across east central Alabama, where the accumulations were close to 2, 3, and even higher than that, 4 inches south. It's beginning to freeze, so the winter storm warnings may have expired and now it's moved farther off to the east, but that will also expire, but all the hazards will remain. The snow accumulations continue for the next hour from this broadcast here on YouTube and Facebook. But if you look here, we're looking at 0.03 of an inch to 1/10, so there's still a little bit more to deal with. So that just adds even more potential of some slippery spots tomorrow. Let's go live at this hour at Magnolia and College Street. This is Toomer's Corner. Look at the intersection, how it is all slushed up earlier. It is all freezing now on the roads. Look at this car come through here and how slow they have to go. Not recommended to move fast. You will skid out quickly. You can see how everything is covered with white snow. How about that? And the high today on the 21st of January for the snowstorm of 2025, first one of significance, that is, we got up to 31, made a low of 25. And 0.2 of an inch of precipitation measured liquidy ends up being into inches, so 2+ inches of snow had fallen with that 0.2 of an inch of rain. -2 was the record in this state back in 1985. So right now conditions, lower 20s, mid to upper 20s out here. And the first alert forecast on the go, right here, your WRBL First Alert Weather app, will give you hour-by-hour outlooks, give you the wind chill, everything you need, and you can see with all the clouds, mostly cloudy, partly cloudy, temperatures in the 20s, and you can see how we clear out perfectly now. Don't be deceived. The sun is out tomorrow, that's for sure, but look at these temperatures in the teens here. So here's the actual physical air temperature, and we're going to see, of course, the negative, we should see the negative effect is the wind, and you factor that wind, and you can hit that on the menu. You can expand it on your phone and get as much as you need through here. But as you could tell, temperatures in the teens and 20s tomorrow, even around 11 a.m., we're still sub-freezing outside. So the First Alert 7-day forecast weather aware for some icy spots continuing. We may just go ahead and add weather aware for Thursday for some very sporadic spots of ice, still black ice potentially with those teens in the morning. But it's these 40s in the afternoon. That's going to really help us out. 50 by Saturday as far as getting rid of any threat of any of that, and that'll be the case. And as you can see next week, we warm up to the point where we start seeing some scattered showers. And we're back to that cold winter rain. There you go. Let's take you around town a little bit and show you what happened. This is what we can expect on the roads tomorrow. This is the 13th Street Bridge that was closed across areas that connected Columbus and Phoenix City. It'll be reopened. Of course, GDOT will be doing a good job at, to get these roads opened up here. And we're going to see this continue tomorrow. A lot of these bridges that have a lot of cold air running underneath them will keep the surfaces still very icy. So this is what we do around here. Other than that, these roads that have been on the outlying areas, this one shot by meteorologist Nicole Phillips, this one by, of course, Phil Scoggins, right along areas of Schaumburg Road. These bridges that go over 185, JRL Parkway will freeze easily. There'll be some slick spots. These are off-ramps coming up here around River Road. As you can see clearly, these cars certainly covered with a lot of snow will run in the risks tomorrow that are not treated, seeing some slippery spots. So it's not advised to go out there at all. Accidents happened today, obviously, when folks weren't paying attention before the accumulations. Look at that. In uptown Columbus this evening, showing you the windshield wipers on the dashboard camera shot by our photographer, chief photographer Kevin Roble. Enjoying the sights, how pretty it is around the gazebo here in uptown, headed towards areas of 11th and Broadway. Certainly made a pretty picture, but again, it's just a friendly reminder how these roads and all these areas and sidewalks are covered by any of the snow. So if you're out and about in uptown, this is another area too. So if you're on the sidewalks, this could actually create more problems. If folks are walking, if you're doing anything, you're going to slip and slide, obviously, through this kind of scenario. And this continues across the two-state area. As beautiful as it looks as it continues to come down this evening. Well, right now, we're beginning to see it taper off. Pardon me, and that's the good news. So we're happy to report on that. So again, beautiful shots here. And what we're looking at, obviously, some improving weather coming up in the very extended forecast. New complaints. So let's get back over to the First Alert Weather Desk here. And I'm going to talk about this scenario. So the Arctic air that's coming in, hang on one second. Thank you for bearing with me. It's so dry. It was a -4 degree dew point yesterday, and that's why everything is dry. Your sinuses and everything else. So you're going to experience a lot of that. But it's this cold air. This cold air that's in place is going to be bringing in, obviously, that Arctic air in place. This is going to make it feel that much worse. So it'll look something like this. So the air is going to be coming in behind here. The front is up north, you could see. And what you see behind here, all this is just cloud cover. But you can see the discernment here, that sharp line where the snow is and where the cloud cover is. And that's the dry air working behind it, the dry polar air. And it continues to move right along the storm track. So let's talk about this for a moment. Okay, so the main thing is you got our area of low pressure, and it's right here. This is how far south it is. And we begin to still see the streaming of all this moisture coming up here. Obviously, the cold Arctic air is at the surface and it intersects. So the snow on the backside, we got a little sleet in East Georgia, and all rain across areas of Florida. So the live radar, again, if you're in Americus, we'll get a little closer here. You can see where the snow is still falling right now steadily. And it's out of Sumter County. It's really around Leslie and around US 280 going into Cordele, Georgia. Smithsville, right along US 19 and US 82, southeast of Dawson. This is all snow. When you get down near Albany, it's coming down quite heavily. So again, you're seeing that real heavy snow falling, and there's the ice around Valdosta and Lakeland, Georgia. You could see right here. Look at all that pink, that purple. That's sleet and freezing rain, friends. So we're going to have a mess down here, especially right along US 84. If you're east of Thomasville, Georgia, this is what I'm saying. If you're traveling anywhere down here on I-75, pardon me, to go towards Valdosta in the morning, coming out of Moultrie, for example, really, you must call ahead. I wouldn't chance it. A lot of places are closed anyway. And you can see this drives all the way up to Savannah, Georgia, this ice storm, as it continues to all kind of blend in with that warmer air aloft. That's what causes that to turn into freezing rain. The surfaces are cold and freezing. It hits and then it freezes on contact. So that's what we're talking about. So the expected snow totals that fell are all going to be freezing now. So that's going to be the end of that story. We won't talk too much more about that. And if you have been watching us at all in any regard, you've been talking about this, of course, the snow showers tapering out, but what's next is all about the travel. So we want everybody to be safe. Seriously, do not go on the roads unless you really need to in any regard. And it's the temperature and wind chill that's out there now in the teens, in the 20s, and with that snow on the ground, it actually makes it feel colder. So it does. It actually makes it a lot colder out there. We're actually seeing winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings expired. We were all under a warning today, the entire news reviewing area, but obviously across east central Alabama, we're seeing nothing but clear conditions. So where we had the heavy accumulations, that's beginning to freeze in this area, and the snow accumulations that's left over the next hour, expect to see 300ths to a tenth to 200ths of an inch of snowfall. That's it. So everybody else, not expect to see any more snow. Hooray, hooray. Isn't that nice? So the snow accumulation starts to taper off quickly. In a live look again, let's take the dog out for a walk. Why not, right? There you go. And look at the shine. Look at the reflection from the city lights here at Magnolia and College Street. That is actually ice now forming. So where you see it shiny right there, that's what you're going to hit on these intersections and these roads. Look at that. Close view. So this is why we're not having anyone travel tomorrow, and that's why businesses and schools are closed around the area to keep everybody safe from that situation. Don't need anybody that's out there and something like this at all. So as far as the temperatures are concerned, right now conditions, let's just talk about that over Magnolia and College Street. We're looking at this. Temperatures in dew point. I'm going to explain this to you. You got Columbus, Georgia, 26, Auburn, 23, and temperatures frozen here at Eufaula Airport, 25. It might be a report. It's not reporting right now. But as you could see, 25 degrees in Americus. So we are certainly cold enough to see this stuff continue to freeze, all the snow. And just your winter safety, just a quick tip. I'd like to remind everybody a couple things. There's some tips out here to remind everybody with this cold weather tomorrow. Of course, there's a lot to consider. If you haven't done this already, then we got a problem, right? So dress in layers. We know that with the wind chill. Stay dry. Avoid sweating, because when you sweat, your body will cool again and you can succumb to hypothermia. Limiting outdoor time is always a good thing. You know that. Home, you can slow drip faucets. Cover the spigots if you haven't done so already, and it's probably too late. If you haven't done so already, you probably already know that. You want to check heating vents for ice buildup or anything like that. But here's the deal. Using indoor heaters is very dangerous if, listen to this, if you have it near something that's flammable, you don't want to bring anything in that's gas, kerosene, that creates carbon monoxide, and that's actually a poisonous gas that could actually kill you, especially with poor ventilation. And you never bring that in a house. It's also a big fire hazard. So the main thing is a lot of blankets. If your heater goes out, lose a little loss of power, check with a neighbor. A lot of people, you'd be surprised. Do you mind if we just come in a little bit until I get my power restored? Or if we need extra blankets, that will keep you warm because you're protected from the elements from your insulation. As far as stripping your faucets, a lot of people want to know about that. That's mainly for like outdoor barns. If you don't have any insulation, you have exterior walls that are exposed and pipes are near it, okay. But most houses, you got a heater on, you're fine. You're going to be okay. As long as your outdoor plumbing is securely wrapped and you know what to do there. Your car, obviously, if you haven't had gas in it already, adding blankets, have things in there if you have to travel. And clearly your pets, just like us now, you think just because they're hairy or they got a real thick coat, limit their outdoor time. Always bring them inside and always cover and check their paws because they get cold too. Remember in the summertime, you put your hand on a pavement. If it's hot for you, it's hot for your pet. Same thing in the winter. If it's super cold, they too could get frostbite and it's very cold. Check their water and food. They should hydrate even indoors. Make sure they're hydrating properly and they're getting the proper care in that space too. I also wanted to check with you. I'm going to just see here. I think I have this too. Some driving hazards. Let's talk about that too. Many of us, sometimes you have to get out there, but the travel issues are going to be big too. So everywhere you're going to end up seeing this from earlier, how much we get all this ice buildup and whatnot. That is a problem, and we want to make sure everybody's pretty safe from that out there too. So this forecast ahead is going to be critical looking at this over the course of the next few days and what you're going to be looking at. So I'm looking for just a couple preps here. I want to show you when you're traveling. I had this here, and if you just bear with me here. It was in my show, and I don't know what happened to it, but hang on one second. Oh, golly, it was in here. I don't want this. I want to show you guys on black ice, but I could tell you about it anyway. Let's see. I think I had it here somewhere. Yeah, let's go and look at some of their driving video here while I'm looking for this particular. I thought it was in my show, and I apologize. Let's go into this since we're live right now. This is earlier today when the snow started, and you could see how quickly it accumulated. And this is what causes problems. I mean, people, if somebody gets pulled over or first responders are here, you don't want to be that person that get them out in the elements to worry about you because you skidded off and went into a median. So please use extreme caution, as you can see here. That's something we want everybody to know about because that's always a problem, especially if you're out traveling about anywhere. As far as the, we could do this right here. Could talk about a little wind chill. I was looking for, geez, I don't know what happened to my. I have Kaylee Barber, you're watching, text me and tell me where you put this because it was in my show. I think somebody took it out and deleted it out completely, but it was in here. And I knew it was in here. It was black ice. I just want to talk. Well, here's the deal. If you encounter any black ice or the fact that if you feel yourself sliding, immediately take your foot off the accelerator. Do not put on the brakes and gently steer into the skid. Okay? I know that sounds weird. So you're not accelerating. You're taking your foot off the accelerator. You're not going to slam on the brakes. And you're going to slowly turn into your skid or where you're going because that's something that you want to keep in mind because that could be deadly. I mean, if you don't do that, you want to be very careful when you're going through those kind of situations. That's something that anybody should consider if you have to be out there. If you do not have to be out, we ask you not to do that. That would be the best thing. As far as anybody needing to check on someone, this is the time to do it. Check on the elderly. Check on your neighbor, somebody you know who doesn't have family. If somebody needs something, if you need food, bread, or anything like that, sometimes it's just best to just sit there and ask a neighbor. And they'll, turn the favor back again. Pay it forward because this is a lot better than getting on the roads and getting yourself stuck somewhere. That's not a good thing. We don't want anyone to have to do that. Definitely not. So there you go. So let's take a look at this here. Let me see if I think I might have this. Well, I'm just determined to show this to you guys, but golly, I don't know where the heck it went. It was in here. Everything I want but that. I'll be darned. Isn't that something? Yeah, I think it got deleted out of my show, and I just cannot find it. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, anyway, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go back over here. Let's talk about, we get out of here. Let's talk about hypothermia. That's a big deal because you can see how the snow is out here and how cold it is for a lot of folks. So this is what I want everyone to keep in mind. If you have to be out tomorrow completely, okay, and you're going to be out and about and everybody's going to be like, okay, what do I do in this situation? Well, a couple things. You want to layer up. And wind chill is going to be that factor. With that snow underground, as you see here, it could be very, very harmful to the body because your body's losing heat when the wind is passing by. So your body is radiating heat at the core. That's why wearing layers is an important thing. So what happens is your body's losing heat, okay? When no wind, it doesn't seem to be a bad deal, even with 20 degrees outside, hypothetically, because this will be like tomorrow morning, okay? So a layer of heat remains to help us stay warmer, right? But let's factor in a couple things. Let's bring in the next person with 20-mile-per-hour winds or gusts out there. Your body heat is being pulled away from you. So moving air breaks up the insulating warm layer that you already have on your body. So what do you think is going to happen to you? Your core is going to cool. So it helps to speed up the heat loss. And now you're going to see your temperature drop. And that's dangerous. And then you could get like a 4-degree wind chill value even with 20 degrees out there. And that's putting the body under a lot of stress. So we don't want to feel that. So a couple things here. So confusion with hypothermia starts. Shivering, if you're out there, that's what we say, don't overexert or sweat, especially if kids want to get on the sleds tomorrow, have a little fun, you're playing out there. If you see somebody difficulty speaking, you're probably getting dehydrated, even in the winter months, and you get sleepiness and in stiff muscles. All these little hints, get inside, stay warm, and you're going to be safe. That's all we're saying. We want to see everybody remain safe out there. As far as just in general, I think the main thing is if everybody can sit there and help someone out, that's going to be the best thing. So we look at a couple things here. Let's look at the wind chill in that note. So in that regard, so as the snow continues to fall south and east of Sumter County, wind chill values over the next 5 days also continue. This is mainly in the morning hours when temperatures start to dip. We're going to end up having, of course, a lot of wind chill. So 21, 24, 21 Friday. These are values that we think with the wind will be at its lowest, but still it's a factor. So you're not going to have the single digits, but you're still going to be sub-freezing until Sunday. So morning temperatures will be cold enough still. So keep that in mind, although daytime high readings finally are going to ramp up a little bit, and that's some good news. It's always good to go outside and enjoy. This person here, see how he's putting on his glove right now? There you go. That's the right way of doing it. With readings in the mid-20s out there, low 20s north of Columbus, and that's the way it's going to shape up for the next couple of hours. Pardon me. And speaking of dry, you could feel it. It is so dry out here, and I've been drinking a lot of water. Here you go. And it makes a world of difference when you're out there. Okay, so next 12 hours, what are we looking for? Hour by hour forecast. There you go. So there's the dip. By sunrise especially, with the clear skies, we get what's called radiational cooling, which is even on top of what we already have. So right now we're saying modestly 18, 17 degrees. I think a lot of you may dip down tomorrow morning into lower teens, like 12 and 13. 12 is not really a teen, but you know what I'm saying. And then we have those wind chill values in the single digits. And by 10 a.m., you're only talking 25 degrees, which what? A couple things. It matches up. What do you see here? It actually matches up with temperatures that we had all day. So even by tomorrow, mid-morning, noon, we're already going into a day and a half of temperatures that did not go above freezing. Okay, that's cold stuff. Christmas Eve 2 years ago, that was the last time we had like this consistently cold, but we didn't have the winter weather with it. We didn't have all the precipitation, snow. So our field-like temperature temperature and wind chill, let's just show you how it is at this given time at 10:42 Eastern, 9:42 Central. If you're in LaGrange, 24 degrees and a wind chill of 15. Alexander City, 22. Go back over here on the big screen for a second. America's 25 with 18. And of course, you could see this all across Montgomery too, a 20-degree wind chill value, 16 in Troy. And that's based on when the winds are starting to pick up a little bit. Across East Alabama now, we're not clear. We just got cloud cover. It's completely cloudy, but the snow has stopped falling. The snow is exiting out of the News 3 viewing area as we speak right now. So the cold weather, again, on all these preps continues. So dress in layers is the forecast. Let's check our on-the-go forecast with our WRBL radar app through Google Play and the App Store. You can actually add this on your mobile device. And when you look at it, you're going to see temperatures hour by hour. You can expand it to get wind chill, and so much more. So it's a great feature to have. When you do allow it through Google Play and App Store, it's going to ask you about push notifications. Allow push notifications because it'll give you the latest like we had today. All the warnings, everything else you need. Here's another way of looking at it. That's the app. That's the logo. You see it right here. Stay alert. Download this anytime to Google Play App Store, and it will give you those prompts and commands. You want to allow it while using, that's fine, but allow alerts because you'll be able to get it. You can also have it follow you wherever you travel. So WRBL radar app doesn't mean you have to be here in a news viewing area. You could be anywhere on the go, anywhere, and it'll actually put your city in there. You have a little search bar, you put any city, and you can also use Follow Me. It's called Follow Me. It'll follow you wherever you go and automatically give you the alerts and updates. So there you go. That's a great app. And as we march through the overnight, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., we go from 23 degrees. There's your teens showing up right before sunrise. That's that radiational cooling effect here. And look at that. Lots of sun, but a lot of cold temperatures and the wind chills too. You're going to see that continue. A lot of sunshine continues for the rest of the day. That'll make it feel a little bit better psychologically. But when you're outside, it is going to be downright cold. I'm going to tell you, my friends, that's for sure. So the next couple mornings, we're talking about some teens here, upper 30s, lower 40s, coming up in this first alert forecast, and those temperatures about 50, 55, and 20s there. That's good. We're also going to be live coming up, a full live broadcast, a recap. You're going to see all the latest highlights and so much more coming up live on News 3, WRBL. Check us out and at WRBL.com. And right here, as we stream at Facebook, we got you covered. Thanks a lot, and have a safe and pleasant week ahead. Please, tomorrow morning, you know what to do.